Hi, everybody. Today I am going to be talking about context clues. We got to talk about context clues on Wednesday, but that video did not convert. So I'm going to talk about context clues, and we're just going to do a quicker version of it anyway. So that way you guys can just get a run through. And then, have you ever been reading something and found a word that you didn't know the meaning of? Okay, so of course in class we've talked about this. We've talked about some of the things that you guys would do. I'm going to take a few seconds and just let you think about the things that we already spoke about when it concerns finding context clues. I know for one of the things is to replace, when we have multiple choice, put each word back into the phrase to help you understand the meaning of the word or phrase. And so that is something that we do. We also pay attention to the words around the phrase, and we've talked about that often. And we also just make sure that we are, move on. Okay, so good readers use context clues in the text to help them understand unknown words. These clues are called context clues. We've talked about this before. The names of those clues are definitions, antonyms, synonyms, examples, and inferences. So what I'm going to do in this PowerPoint is I'm just going to go over an example of each, and then I'm going to go into some more just practice examples for us. Okay, so sometimes they use the definition. Sometimes, if you pay attention to this example, it says if you are a paleontologist, then you are someone who studies dinosaurs. So sometimes they just put the definition right there in there for you. Like they don't make you look around, try and figure out what it is. A paleontologist is someone who studies animals. You want to pay attention to then you are someone. So clearly a paleontologist is a person, so that's a noun. So you're just really looking for what is describing this noun. And so that was a pretty easy one, if I do say so myself. The next one, we can use a synonym. We know that synonyms are two words that mean the same thing. So we want to think about that. Synonyms are two words that mean the same thing. So when we look at our sentence, we read our sentence first. Hurricane Katrina devastated Louisiana, but it was not the only hurricane that damaged the area. So clearly Hurricane Katrina, that is the name of the hurricane, but it goes in here and it does a comparison to another hurricane. And so it says devastated the Louisiana. That must mean that damaged is the same thing as devastated, because we noticed that it's talking about Hurricane Katrina, then it's talking about another hurricane that also damaged the area, or we know damage to mean destroyed. And when something devastates an area, it also destroys an area. So they just use two words that have the same meaning to help you figure out the meaning of that unknown word. Alrighty, our next example here is sometimes the author includes an example. So right now I'm giving you multiple examples as to different types of context clues. So here Fitzgerald is a philanthropist. The clue here is the example. See, the example, if you notice, it comes in the next sentence. It tells you what he does that makes him a philanthropist. So the definition of a philanthropist is a person who promotes causes such as feeding the homeless or providing money for children for summer programs or technology STEM programs where, you get science projects, big science centers in schools. So Larry Fitzgerald is a person who makes sure that these types of causes get money because he's always making someone aware of what's happening or what the needs are of a specific group of people or kids or whoever. So that's a philanthropist. But like I said, the example comes in the next sentence. So it could come after a comma for sure. But what you should see here is when it provides the example, it tells you what he does that makes him the philanthropist. Sometimes a reader has to use what they know to infer. So we want to remember what an inference is. An inference is when a person uses the knowledge that they already have and they use the information within the actual text to help them formulate some sort of answer, to help them get an answer to or find the meaning of the word. So here it says, firemen use water and foam to cease the spread of wildfires. The information that we should already know is what firemen use and what they use it for. So for example, take a second and think about it. Why do firemen use water and foam? What are they trying to stop? So here it says that firemen use water and foam to cease the spread of wildfires. So I kind of just gave you the answer there. But firemen, we know they have to stop fires. Firemen fight fires. Therefore, cease must mean stop, because the spread of wildfires, they wouldn't want them to continue to spread. That is our prior knowledge that we're activating there. We're using information we already know about firemen to help us understand that that cease word must mean stop. And so those are some examples there of the different types of context clues explained. So I also put up the one that you were used to in class, and I put that up just to help you out and just to give you a better example of what you already know. So when you remember, when you think about Mr. Fry and inferencing and the types of context clues, you can think of ideas so that way you don't forget. So here are some examples. I'm going to explain each as we go through. So after falling many times on his skis, Dan was reluctant to ski down the mountain again. Okay, so here is what I would do if I were thinking about this problem. If Dan it says after falling many times on his skis, if I continue to fall, this one must be an inference because I have to think about my own self. If I continue to fall, I'm not going to want to keep falling, so I'm going to be unwilling, not ready or happy or excited. Oops, I missed it, but the answer definitely was unwilling. I just moved too slow, so I got to pick it up. But I want you to see my thought process as we work through a couple of these problems. So the answer was unwilling. All righty, let me try this again. Some people feel perplexed by brain teasers while others figure them out quickly. Wow, okay, so if some people feel perplexed while others figure them out, and I look at my answers here, that means if I figured it out, I would know what I'm doing. But if I'm perplexed, I must be confused. Some people feel confused by brain teasers while others figure them out quickly. The answer is blue. And the answer was blue because they gave me the antonym to figuring them out quickly. So they said some people feel perplexed, but other people figure them out quickly. Therefore, those people who figure them out quickly aren't the same as the some people at the top of the sentence. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see it. But perplexed clearly means confused because it also couldn't have been the other answers if we used process of elimination. Let's try this again. The girl languidly put on her jacket as if she had no energy at all, languidly. So she put on her jacket, but she didn't have any energy. And it says as if, so that must be kind of like my example to what she was doing. I'm going to look at my answers here. It says energyless, actively, quickly, energetically, but she didn't have any energy, so it must be the triangle. That's kind of how you want to think through your answers. Hopefully you move faster than your teacher here, but it's cool. So if you chose energyless, you were absolutely correct. Let's go through another one. The sun made the lake water shimmer. Okay, so the sun made the lake water shimmer. So they're telling me what the sun did to the water. Now, I know if I were to look at the water and the sun was shining on it, it's not going to be dark or dull. It may be dirty, but the sun also makes things like kind of bright and shiny sometimes. So I'm going to go with sparkle, and it looks like I am correct. Do you not only see I'm correct, I'm on an answer streak now. Whoa. So that's cool. So if you chose sparkle, you were good to go. Also, if we used our prior knowledge, we could have said we know when things shimmer, they sparkle because things like glitter spark, shimmer, metallic type of things shimmer. So that was just something to think about. And I'm playing this game all by myself. Okay, so it says the saturated, dripping dog ran in the house after swimming in the lake. Okay, so the dog here could be smelly, he could be dirty, wet, and he might, I don't think he's gonna be, oh, we can take that out as one of our answers. But if he was saturated, dripping dog, and he just came out the lake, I'm gonna say he was wet. Yes. Now, some of you guys may have chosen smelly because we know when wet dogs come from outside of the house into the house, they smell terrible. However, it really didn't give us any kind of clue about this involving a smell, but it did give us the clue about dripping and being in the lake. And so you would have focused more on the dog being wet. So saturated means wet. But if you chose smelly, that's okay. You'll get it next time. All right, I think I'm going to do about 2 more examples and I'm going to bring it on home. The diamond ring was radiantly shining on her finger. Okay, so here the diamond ring is telling me what the diamond ring is doing. So that's kind of like an example to me. It's shining radiantly. But so if it's shining, we know when you shine, it wouldn't be barely, hardly, or dim because diamonds are known to shine. It's just my prior knowledge there. So we're going to go with brightly. We're going to go with brightly. Easy peasy. I hope you said it with me. Lemon squeezy. All righty, and we got one more example here. And it says, Jackie was mortified after her puppy ripped her friend's brand new sweater. Mortified. So I'm looking at these answers here. I see embarrassed, silly, joyful, grateful. And it was her friend's brand new sweater that her puppy ripped. So I wouldn't be happy or grateful. So we're going to take those out. And silly, I probably would feel silly, but it sounds like I'd be embarrassed. And so that was the answer that I chose there. Now, what you wanted to see here was this gave you the example of what mortified Jackie. So that was an example for a context clue. Hopefully you've been keeping up with those. One more example just to give you something to do. And I'm going to head on up out here. I meandered through the woods, taking my time exploring. So I am meandering through the woods, taking my time exploring. I'm not hurrying because I'm taking my time. I'm not going to run or jog if I'm taking my time. But if I'm going through the woods, wandered, and I'm exploring, I probably am wandering because wandering means to kind of do your own thing. So looks like I got that right. Wandered. So if you chose wandered, meandered and wandered means the same thing. And really you're just walking with no sense of direction. And typically when you explore areas that are unknown. So you may walk around and get familiar with the area, but you don't really know where you're going. So that's why it's more of a wander rather than you traveling, or I guess like a planned route is what we would say. All righty, guys. That is the end of my lesson.